Without warning, chaos erupts in the streets of Seoul. People become vicious, attacking one another with a terrifying cannibalistic rage. Trapped in his parents' fourth-floor apartment, a young man watches in horror from the window, his isolation growing as food supplies run out. The TV broadcasts grim news. The virus is sweeping the nation. Days pass in suffocating silence as the phone lines, internet, and even water supply go dead. Just when he's on the verge of giving up, a glimmer of hope appears. A cute girl in the apartment across the way, locked in her own fight for survival. Stay tuned to witness what happens next in this gripping tale of survival, hope, and human connection. When Oh Jun-woo wakes up, he finds himself at home by himself. That morning, his parents hurriedly left, leaving him just enough cash for food. When Oh Jun-woo, a gamer, first learns about the weird illness that drives infected people to bite and even eat uninfected people, thus infecting them, he is online with a few of his buddies. Oh Jun-woo is shocked to discover how chaotic the nation is when he turns on the television. When Jun-woo arrives at his balcony, he witnesses a disorganized and terrified group of people rushing for their lives. There's a breakdown in order. There are a lot of traffic accidents down below. The once bustling streets of Seoul were now choked with abandoned cars, debris, and desperate people trying to flee. Smoke billowed from the distance, and screams echoed through the air. The orderly city was now in shambles, with no signs of authority. Traffic accidents littered the roads. Cars piled up on top of one another, with their doors flung open as if their drivers had made a last-second attempt to escape. Jun-woo hears a young woman screaming for her mother. When the girl's mother discovers her, the girl begins to consume her, turning their embrace into a vicious attack. Then, without warning, the girl bit down hard on her mother's shoulder. Jun-woo's breath caught in his throat. The mother screamed in pain, trying to push her daughter away, but the girl had already sunk her teeth deep into the flesh. Blood poured from the wound as the mother shrieked, begging for her daughter to stop. Jun-woo could only watch in horror. Oh Jun-woo hears the same sounds in the hallway as he returns inside. He cautiously peeks through the door's peephole before slowly and carefully opening the door. A neighbor named Lee Sang-chul from the flat next door bursts in as soon as he opens the door to the hallway. Jun-woo is begged to let Sang-chul stay. He is permitted to use the toilet by Jun-woo. A television program details the changes that affected people go through, such as hostile conduct and ocular hemorrhage, which might eventually result in full-fledged cannibalistic attacks. Jun-woo's eyes widened in sudden realization. He had seen it. When Sang-chul had rushed in earlier, there had been something else, just a glimpse, a wound on his neck, half hidden by his collar. If that was a bite, he had to act fast. He scrambled to the kitchen, flinging open a drawer and grabbing the largest knife he could find. A moment later, Sang-chul convulses and his eyes become red. In an attempt to save his own life, Jun-woo pushes his neighbor back out of the flat and into the hallway before locking the door. Jun-woo witnesses a horrifying murder in the hallway via the peephole. Through the peephole, Jun-woo's breath caught in his throat as he watched in turn. Sang-chul was suddenly pounced on by another zombie. Now fully consumed by the infection, Jun-woo could see a dark red liquid seeping under his door. The gruesome sounds of tearing flesh and agonized groans echoed through the corridor. More of them. The infected were roaming. Jun-woo pushes his refrigerator in front of the entrance door to safeguard it. His family sends Oh Jun-woo messages to reassure him that they are safe. Jun-woo quickly discovers that the internet is flooded with individuals posting addresses under the hashtag #alive and inquiring about their loved ones. In an attempt to save himself, Jun-woo posts something similar. Jun-woo nods off on the couch as darkness falls. The following day, a TV talk with Professor Kim Yeon-jong discussing the reasons behind the behavioral changes linked to a mutant viral infection wakes Oh Jun-woo up. Before his phone battery dies, Jun-woo makes one last attempt to understand the terrifying reality unfolding around him. He sends out his drone, flying it cautiously through the broken windows and around the towering apartment complex. When the drone returns and his phone screen flickers off, his streaming video game service has long stopped working, and now, darkness falls, and exhaustion finally claims him. A sudden disturbance jerks Jun-woo awake. Disoriented, he stumbles toward the source of the noise. From his balcony, he peers down into the street below. A lone policewoman, Oh Hye-won, desperately fighting off a group of her former colleagues who are now infected. Their uniforms are stained with blood, and their eyes glow with the same savage hunger that's claimed so many others. They move in a disjointed, jerky manner, snarling like wild animals as they close in on her. Oh Hye-won fights valiantly, but it's clear she's overwhelmed. Her strength is failing, and for every infected she knocks down, two more take their place. Jun-woo, watching from above, feels a surge of desperation. Without thinking, he shouts down to her, but it's too late. As Oh Hye-won turns to glance up at him, her scream pierces the night as the other infected swarm her. Jun-woo's shout, meant to save her, only draws the attention of a nearby infected creature. For a moment, everything stands still. Then, with terrifying speed, the zombie sprints toward the building, scrambling up the stairs and slamming against his door. Panic grips Jun-woo as he realizes his mistake. He rushes to barricade the door, but the creature is too strong, pounding relentlessly until the door bursts open. The infected zombie barrels into his apartment, its face twisted with rage, and lunges toward him with outstretched arms. In a split-second decision, Junwoo retreats to the balcony, his only escape route cut. As the creature charges at him, he does the unthinkable. He swings over the railing, gripping onto the metal bar with sweaty, trembling hands. The ground 4 stories below. The infected zombie rushes toward the railing, but in its frenzy, it loses balance. With a sickening growl, it topples over the edge, crashing to the pavement far below. Junwoo slowly, he pulls himself back onto the balcony. By day 7, he's resorting to his father's liquor stash. News updates reveal the virus spreads through blood contact, emphasizing the importance of avoiding bites and stabs. After 2 days of solitude, Junwoo savors his last bowl of ramen soup. Disaster strikes when he spills his water bottle, only to discover his apartment's water supply has been cut off. Junwoo records a video detailing his miraculous survival for his online followers. He receives a call from his mother, but the poor signal makes it hard to understand her. Determined to improve the reception, he mimics an online stunt using a selfie stick. While he doesn't fall, he catches enough of the call to realize something is wrong with his family. By day 10, Junwoo grows frustrated with the news advising survivors to stay home and wait. In anger, Junwoo destroys things in his apartment and heads outside. There, he encounters a sluggish zombie, and vents his frustration by attacking it with a golf club. However, the commotion draws more zombies toward him, and he's soon overwhelmed. He barely escapes back to his apartment, aided when zombies exiting the elevator collide with those pursuing him in the corridor. Quietly, Junwoo sneaks past the distracted zombies and locks himself in. But now, they gather outside his door. His breathing is ragged, his mind racing. He had survived, but just barely. The reality of the nightmare he's living in has never felt so close. Infected individuals gain enhanced strength and senses, often retaining familiar skills. Junwoo watches in shock as a distant building explodes, sending flames and debris into the sky. The blast rattles his apartment. He stumbles inside, quickly opening his laptop. Recording a video, he whispers, "Souls falling apart. Bombs now. I don't know how much longer I'll last." By day 20, Junwoo resolves to take his own life. As he hangs from the noose, a laser pointer beams into his room from the opposite apartment. It highlights the word "No" written on his wall. Struggling, Junwoo frees himself and watches the laser spell out "Idiot." The source of the beam is a girl named Kim Yoo-bin from across the yard. Using binoculars, she waves to him, and they agree to meet at 7 o'clock. Unlike Junwoo, Kim Yoo-bin is well prepared. With her apartment booby-trapped against zombies, Junwoo oversleeps and misses their meeting time but apologizes and introduces himself using his phone. Kim Yoo-bin hears a noise and investigates. She later discovers a zombie trapped by one of her traps and swiftly kills it with an axe. The next morning, Yoo-bin attempts to throw food to Junwoo when she sees he's starving. She attaches a rope to a baseball but misses, and it lands on the street. Junwoo uses his drone to deliver a rope across to her. Yoo-bin then sends snacks and water, cautioning him not to eat too fast. Junwoo sits quietly in his apartment, eating the food Yoo-bin had sent over, grateful for the gesture. As he chews, he gazes out of the window, trying to make sense of the chaos outside. Suddenly, something unusual catches his attention. A firefighter zombie standing motionless in the street below. He notices the rope still attached to the baseball that Yoo-bin had thrown earlier. Frantically, he urgently points down at the street, warning her of the zombie dangerously close to their lifeline. Infected firefighter climbs the rope, pulling Yoo-bin's cable across her apartment and knocking her out. Junwoo, desperate for a way out, grabbed his drone and quickly powered it up. His heart pounded as he guided it through the balcony window, hoping to distract the zombie. The small whirring of the drone's propellers grew louder as it approached the infected creature. With a burst of adrenaline, Junwoo expertly maneuvered the drone, flying it straight into the zombie's face. But the victory was short-lived. The zombie, with a sudden burst of aggression, lunged and caught the drone mid-air. Yoo-bin regains consciousness just in time to cut off the zombie's hand before it reaches her balcony, sending it tumbling to the ground. Faced with dwindling supplies and desperation, Junwoo decides to go farming. He leaves his apartment and finds his neighbor's key on a corpse. Inside, he scavenges food, clothes, a corded headphone, and walkie-talkies. While searching, a sleeping zombie awakens and attacks. But Junwoo narrowly escapes with essentials. After enjoying some peanut butter and failing to tune into a radio station with his new antenna, Junwoo sends a walkie-talkie and food to Yoo-bin via the zip line. They start communicating, though Yoo-bin avoids discussing his suicide attempt. Instead, they bond over making noodle soup. Later, she admits a fear of heights, which Junwoo finds ironic, given she cut off a zombie's hand. Yoo-bin explains that the zombies aren't human, easing her guilt. She also mentions she once fell while climbing. During their conversation, Junwoo hears heavy sounds and they stay quiet. They soon realize a horde of zombies flooding both apartment complexes. But Yoo-bin accidentally knocks over a shelf, drawing attention. Junwoo calls a neighboring unit to distract the zombies, and Yoo-bin decides to head to the empty 8th floor of Junwoo's building. They agree to meet there. Yoo-bin bravely repels down to the street, fighting off zombies with her axe as she runs toward Junwoo's complex. Impressed by her courage, Junwoo joins her, knocking a zombie off her with his golf club. They barely escape the swarm by reaching the elevator. Once on the 8th floor, all seems calm as they search for unlocked doors. But soon, more zombies appear. Junwoo fights them off while Yoo-bin finds a door. A man pulls them inside just before they are overrun. Inside, the man offers them food and water, claiming he has enough to survive until rescue arrives. Jun-woo and Yu-bin are relieved, but their joy is short-lived. They soon realize the food was drugged. The man zip ties their wrists as they sleep and locks Yu-bin in a room with a sky-painted ceiling. Yu-bin wakes up in a locked room, realizing she's in danger when she sees the man planning to feed her to his zombie wife. She cries for help and Jun-woo awakens, threatening the man with a gun they had found earlier. The man, holding his wife's harness, insists he must keep her alive and offers to let Jun-woo survive if he abandons Yu-bin. When Jun-woo threatens to shoot him, the man releases the tether holding his wife. Jun-woo lunges for it, but it slips away. After hearing a struggle, the man opens the door. Yu-bin has saved herself by covering the zombie's head and the man submits to his wife's attack. Yu-bin shoots them both. The gunfire draws more zombies. With hope fading, Jun-woo and Yu-bin prepare to shoot themselves to avoid infection. Just as Jun-woo is about to pull the trigger, they hear rescue helicopters. With renewed hope, they fight their way to the rooftop, using a pushcart to clear zombies and Jun-woo blocking the stairwell with a bicycle. He pushes back the zombies, giving them time to reach the roof, but the helicopters are gone. Desperate, Jun-woo screams, "There are survivors here, we are still alive." As the zombies break onto the rooftop, creeping closer. The military arrives in a helicopter, shooting the zombies and rescuing Jun-woo and Yu-bin. Once airborne, Jun-woo receives a message from his family confirming their safety. Relieved, he looks at Yu-bin, grateful to be alive. A news report highlights how social media has helped locate survivors. Jun-woo's hashtag changes from hashtag I must survive to hashtag alive.